Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center. And it is just that, always advancing, and certainly not in the same space where it was located last week. I know that for sure. On Wednesday, Genya, accompanied by that amazing hummingbird, carried us into her world of magic, where her life leads her on adventures and, as she described herself, as being like a little child behind the wheel of a great big car. This past Friday, David inspired us to let everything that is old fall away as we make room for the arrival of our new selves. And today, I invite you to not need to understand and thereby experience the freedom of a child. This past Tuesday was especially magical for me. Robert and I had received the postcard saying that we would be experiencing a power outage from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. At 9 o'clock on the dot, my reading lamp went out. From that moment on, the day was an improvisation. Do you recall David telling us about Bernard Zander, the conductor of the Boston Philharmonic, who magically draws out of a young conductor the hidden passion of the composer, locked into the music until this young musician is set free by Bernard Zander and his interpretations of the music, which is definitely a lesson for life. Back to Tuesday. At this time, we have no lights, no cooking, no Wi-Fi, no Facebook, and certainly no internet. I have my iPhone with a text from my dear friend Vidi, who introduced us to Bernard Zander in the first place. This time, she recommended an interpretation class of Gustav Mahler's trumpet solo in his Symphony Number 5. This young man played through his solo flawlessly, and Zander applauded him. Then the magic happened, and the soloist and to me. As I look at the scene from here, it was as though Zander took us both from where we were and put us on a flying magic carpet, which took us right into Gustav Mahler's heart and imagination. At the finale, we were both shown that he was now the lone man, this trumpeter, he was now the lone man with a bugle at the top of the hill, surrounded by 1,000 dead troops. And I was witness to this and the only mourner. The power of the music erased all thought and delivered through this young man the sound and the feeling I shall never forget as I sat there awash with tears. This was a renewal of the sensitivity I remember so well as a child. My piano was my best friend. I poured out my deepest feelings as I played a piece from Schumann's Kindersehen. Understanding via analysis and music theory must not usurp the pure magic of deep feeling that this music elicits. Music carries an undeniable message, and the world is in need of more music. Yesterday, I just heard a few bars of that Mala passage and felt the depth of that feeling once more. We create deep friendships with music that moves us. A letter to Bernard Zander, Ray the Music, from a student who flew in from Singapore and quotes Zander, who said, "As musicians, we can never be better musicians than we are as people." He adds, this is the student writing, he says, "I now see my life as a long and beautiful piece of music with several surprises along the way. Love and kindness are essential qualities to get through the difficult times. And thank you for being in my life." Zander was quite gracious, and he said, "This is not for me. This is for everyone." Have you noticed that there is no later for a child? Even when they constantly hear later to a pleading request, the child wants immediacy and knows no later. And the nearby adult says, not now, later. The adult keeps score and remembers while the child lets go. All these considerations were entertained on my day of no electrical power. I walked down the breezeway to visit Robert in his shed, where there is usually a wonderful classical station playing. But now, in the silence, Robert asked if I felt the difference with no interference of our frequency in and around our home up here, surrounded by nature. We had received a gift. Now I wake each morning as if there is an outage, or try to. I love sharing that with you. That was a very special day. And then in my wonderful searching, I found this wonderful writing that Robert wrote just this past January. And it says, "There are many new ways to explain the flow of life, but there is nothing to describe the prediction of the future that you manage to be able to gather from time to time without a thought of your ability until you actually experience what you have predicted in real time. The feeling of, oh, I knew that, comes very often as you move forward and allow the future to be part of your everyday reality. There is, however, much to be experienced in the area of development of the future and the selection of what is most suitable right now for appearance at a later time. In the past, it was understood that the development of your future could be controlled by your thoughts and actions throughout your day. But now it is obvious that there are many other factors which are not tied to the mind or the physical actions of your body. The unknown does not follow any laws, and there are no effects that can be used to formulate anything in the unknown. The unique skills of each human being in handling the unknown and its random actions can easily be demonstrated in the many millions of categories available as human activities. The action of understanding is not part of this skill. It is a known part of our nature that only needs acceptance to operate perfectly. The process of acceptance in our world has been linked with understanding in such a way that nothing is acceptable unless it can be understood. This presents a problem for most people, and as such, there is a barrier preventing access to the skill of living with the future as part of your active reality. To get past this anomaly, it is sometimes necessary to add a few more facts that allow the brain to release its fixed program patterns. Firstly, there is no process in accepting what is natural to your being. Every universal connection has a purpose, and if it is left alone to operate in its own random pattern, it will produce events and experiences that will nurture and elevate the core of your being so that it is fully operational in the universal flow of both now and the future. In reality, there is nothing to accept. But there is a need to be aware of the fact that your internal objection is an induced program that is held in your body. This program can and will disappear when it is no longer needed. Look into the future without even needing to know what you are looking at, and you will soon see all objection disappear and clarity arise that has no explanation in physical terms. Everything is now possible, even though you have no explanation and no outward sign apart from your smile and your determination to affect the future. In working with the future, it is important to know that every part of you, physical and non-physical, seen and unseen, local and remote, is now in action as part of the flow that you control through some unknown means with great skill and precision to enhance your world and the world around you. This is not simply a small influence in your life. It is the original source of life from where everyone and everything originates. In the long term, you will see how you produce physical matter simply by seeing it available, and it will appear out of nowhere without the need for some complex manufacturing facility. Watch the small things happen and let your smile confirm that it is you at work with the future and the facilities available to you to affect the universe. Can you imagine how delighted I was to find that writing on youngsight.com? So, in fact, every one of these selections is a delight. And then I found an excerpt from a writing called A Small Glimpse of Understanding. The flow that has been in your life for a long time has been disrupted so that a new and more sophisticated flow can be made available to support your future. Unfortunately, your focus is locked onto the disruption, and the new flow is somewhere in the background. As you withdraw from the difficulty of maintaining a logical flow, You will find that a new way of life enters your field, and the flow will become more random than you have ever experienced. You will follow your spirit even when the pull from the world demands otherwise. For the first time in your life, you will understand from a higher level that what comes to you out of nowhere is attached to the world of magic and miracles and has no need to fit into anything or even make sense in worldly terms. Everything you do or say can flow freely without any consideration because it is not designed to meet any specific requirements. It is designed to meet all requirements. A small glimpse of understanding is all that is necessary for now. As we skip off into another direction and look at what is available on the horizon, all that you can see is the immediate future and what is being controlled into your life. Now, look past all this, and you will see there is nothing on the horizon once you are finished with the immediate future. What is actually available is beyond all logical understanding because of its enormity and its lack of comparison with the world that is presented as yours. You are in touch with a totally new world that cannot be expressed as part of the world or the life that you know now. Step into the future and allow the flow to express itself in a new form so you can see what you have never seen before in the physical plane. The natural part of your being will change, and a new reality will exist simply because you dare to live it. As we bring you out of the restricted mold of everyday life, you will see how small it is. There will never be a time when you will have to return, and there will never be a time when you have the discomfort of being anywhere else but in the expanded world that cannot be expressed at this time. Yeah, there's so much there. The knowingness of these writings into the deepest core of our being that we are sometimes not aware of until we hear words just like this. I love these titles. And this one is called A New Way of Existence and dates back to November 2016. Still true. At this time, it is important to empty your mind and allow nothing but life to penetrate the experiential walls of your existence. Assumptions, conclusions, comparisons, or rules will only hamper the vision of what you are about to receive through channels that have never been opened in your world before. The simplicity of your life and everything in it can only be as it was when you were a child. The true world of fantasy and the playful world of a child will open the way to many new and exciting prospects that will eventually form into a happy and most powerful world for you to live in. You are about to reveal to the world that there is another way of existence. And there is a way for you to access the interface with the most powerful and mystical part of your being. Nothing has been mentioned or even considered in this light, even though there have been strange experiences in everyone's life that have proven that something more powerful than what we know is present in the world. Many theories have been put forward, but no one has actually attempted to harness the endless combinations of the random interface that exists between us and the thing you refer to as your personal supercomputer. And that one will be continued next week. And now, Simeon greets us. The dates don't mean a thing, but just in case you want to know, this was in 2014. And he says, relax and allow the new flow to enter your being and stabilize the movement that is increasing once again today. Bring towards you all that you need and have no concern for how anything works. You will know more today than you have ever known, but the most important is that the flow continues and you settle in to the ease with which everything in your life can come into reality. Now that the movement holds the harmony of magic and miracles, you can bring to the world everything that you know to be useful at the present time and for the future. Stay in tune, and your connection will grow to where you have no need for any other input. The safety that surrounds you is more than it has ever been, and your need for words will never disappear. As you gather what is said, you will notice that your body accepts every word as nourishment without analysis. And as we speak, the energies around you become excited and extremely active so that your day may have all the support that is needed in your world. Listen carefully to your signals, but do not bring them into thought patterns. Merely allow the special receptors to take on what comes to you and watch as your body performs without any thought. The development of this part of everyone's system is improving each day, and the automatic operation of each person will soon be obvious in everyone's life. There is much activity in the field, and the reformatting of the electromagnetic field is complete. The final alignment with each person will progress very quickly so that everyone feels the well-being that results from the energies around them. Enjoy what is happening and continue to celebrate as you love one another and bring a new level of existence into the world. Remember, I am with you always, your loving friend, Simeon. He's right here. I know that. And here's another gift from Simeon. And it's entitled Master Your Amazement. That's fabulous. The next step that you'll feel coming towards you is your ability to change things within yourself, to change your body. And I've mentioned before, you can change your body chemistry in an instant. You have an understanding that you can't have anything unless it already exists. That understanding will actually disappear as you start to bring things into your life that seem to come out of nowhere. Even though you're convinced that they must have belonged to someone at some time, or that must have been built, there'll be many times when you find you cannot track how you ended up with something that may look very practical, may look like it was manufactured, but in fact, it will come into the world through various sources. And it will manifest through the hands of other people to appear in your life. Know that if it does come from nowhere, and it comes there because it's best for you, it may not be anything of major significance, but it does come from nowhere. We've worked, that's true. We've worked for many centuries in transporting and transpositioning physical objects from one planet to another. And we can do that easily. In your world, you need something physical to turn it into something in the physical world. But let me assure you, it's already been transported to your world and is waiting there for you as a gift from you in your old world. The old world of your origin, where you return every time you have an adventure finished and you prepare for the next stage. But this time, it's a little different because it's new. The movement forward is enormous, and it has not repeated anything in the past. And so what you find turns up is something you've created in another realm, something you don't really understand in your world until it arrives. And you all have these gifts, and you have no knowledge of how advanced they are. But we can assure you they're advanced, both beyond technology and in technology. So the message that we continue to bring is to maintain your advancement, maintain your amazement, maintain your total respect for everything and everyone. And at this time, open your hearts to those who are being led in a different direction so that those directions can disappear and they can walk into the same field where you exist. That's the magic that you can present to everyone. You can just send nothing out except the perfection of the field that enhances everyone's life and leaves nothing unturned. So I'll leave you with remembering nothing, knowing nothing, and seeing that there is always another way. Thank you once again. I am Simeon. It's a very special day here today. We have big, white, fluffy clouds in front of a blue sky, and no sun obviously shining. But it's a day where you see everything very clearly. It's also a photographer's delight. And now it's my delight to share with you the magic that you heard on Wednesday from David. And I get to experience it with you again today. And this one is called Experience. So thank you, David. You bring such richness and clarity and caring, and put them all into words. Here is experience. When you experience the feeling of peace, you transmit peace. When you experience the feeling of joy, you transmit joy. When you experience the feeling of love, you transmit love. When you experience the feeling of the unknown, you transmit the mystery of the unknown. When you experience the feeling of a smile, you transmit a smile. When you experience the feeling from your origin, you transmit your origin. It is the feeling that is transmitted. No matter what the state, it is transmitted whether you know it or not. When you experience the feeling of nature, you transmit nature. When you experience the feeling of yourself as perfection, you transmit perfection. There are no words to describe the power of these feelings, but they are unmistakable in their delivery. The energy and essence of these feelings animates all life, the beginning of creation itself, a feeling that is experienced that produces a desire to create a universe so we can feel and experience more. That is what we are capable of. And although unseen, that is what we do every second, every hour, and every day of this time spent on planet Earth. When you experience the feeling of harmony, you transmit harmony. When you experience the feeling of excitement, you transmit excitement. When you experience the feeling of knowingness and security, you transmit knowingness and security. And when you experience the feeling of the magnificent, majestic you will transmit the magnificent, majestic you. And this is called bursting. I'm in love, and so are you. Where is she? Where is he? Everywhere and in everything. It is my nature. And as more moves away, I am only left with love. Not the word love, but a transcendent feeling that is beyond any word that pours out of us like a torrential rain shower on a spring day. These words that I use can only help paint a picture. They can only help to transport you to this incredible feeling that exists inside of you. Your beloved is everywhere and in everything, dancing to your brilliant music. Watch and feel the butterfly as it flies by and dances with you. Watch and feel as the birds sing to you as they fly by. And then watch and feel as the trees and flowers bow and curtsy to you on the breeze that is created by your song. This feeling is bursting out of me, and it is about to burst out of you. Nothing else has ever really mattered except this feeling for yourself and everyone and everything. And with that comes a freedom and a peace that are beyond any standard ever created. And as you realize this, you will have to work to stay in this body because this feeling is too big to contain in a human form. You will begin to know yourself as creator and creation, and you will see and feel the amazing love that exists between the two. I feel each and every one of you hearing these words. You are transmitting right now. And this gift is called Uncharted. As I drive through the fog and mist, there's a great feeling of mystery and the unknown, a feeling of multidimensionality as if entering a portal to somewhere new, where your essence exists in a completely different form and reality. This is the new world, and this is the new you. No longer limited by the forces of this physical dimension and its gravitational pull on your field, and no longer limited by the programs that have held you in bondage to this physical reality. A new, uncharted adventure is upon us, and the results of this are showing up every day as more is being revealed from the world of magic and miracles and the industry of magic and miracles. Each new day, more of the restrictions that have been placed upon us are being taken down. These unseen forces, much like an invisible energetic force field, are melting under a wave of light, harmony, and truth. The children coming on the planet are filled with this light, and they will lead the way to the complete demolition of all that has been produced from the beings of control and domination. As you feel these new energies, you will feel all old forms of yourself and all limits within those forms fall away. And you will be left with the feeling and awareness of the power of your unlimited, multidimensional self. You may be frightened for just a moment as you feel yourself disconnected from all that has kept you comfortable in this limited expression of you. But then you will begin to feel a more expanded you that is connected to everything and everyone, unlimited in your power, your movement, and your magnificence. So be encouraged and invite the world of chaos, because it is in those random notes of chaos that a symphony is produced, which is named after you. Know that your name is a symphony conducted by the master himself and sung by a choir of angels. And from this moment on, anytime your name is spoken, you will be reminded of your music, your origin, and the gifts that you brought here to give to the world. You have given me the gift and opportunity to share the treasures way beyond our understanding, but our heart recognizes what we've always been searching for ever since we arrived as little children. Thank you. And now, all of us here at the Advancement Center are joining in together in wishing you a perfect life, perfect health, and a truly magic future. Thank you.